Bitch, listen up. Now, for today's topic, I'm gonna have to ask one of y'all to close the door because there may be some little cheerings walking by down the hallway. And the topic of conversation is adults only. Good morning, everybody. It's so good to be here with you. Happy Thursday, happy day, happy change of the seasons, happy fall. You know what? This is going to be an exciting episode, and I hope that you all are ready to talk about everything dealing with the only thing that matters right now, which is your body. And I have come to the realization that based on conversations I've had with friends, and now that we're post-COVID and we're out and we're socializing more in public spaces and with people that we haven't seen for a while, we find ourselves in situations where we may not know what people are feeling internally about themselves. Now, if you followed social media, then you notice that some people used COVID time as their time to start working out, do a bodybuilding contest, stop eating. What is that? There was a diet that was out and really popular. I forgot what it was called. But I did a fast, like literally for medical reasons. I had surgery on both my feet. And so I knew that for 45 days I was going to be stuck laying on my back. And it was going to be during the Christmas holidays, which is when I like to eat the most. I always lose a lot of weight in the summertime. And then I drop my weight down by fasting and not doing pretty much anything else over the last year because I have a back injury that still needs to be repaired with surgery, and I'm just too scared for that. I'm just too much of a punk. So I had to make a decision. So I decided to do a fast. Well, what I noticed was it was easier for me to just stop eating between certain hours of the day to lose weight or to just keep my body where it was instead of just gaining a whole lot of weight with a sedentary lifestyle laying on my back. Because, you know, if you've ever had like a surgery, and I'm not going to give too many details, but if you've ever had surgery on any part of your body, when they give you anesthesia, that can, when you come out of it, your surgery is fine. But when you're in your recovery, the anesthesia that they give you has a tendency to slow down your digestion. And then they're giving you a pain medicine to take as soon as before you even leave the hospital. You're going home, you took your pain medicine that they gave you before you leave, then you take another one. Well, that's also slowing down your digestive tract. So between the pain medicine and the anesthesia that you had, you're going to end up with constipation. So knowing that, I had surgery on my feet and I knew I was going to end up being constipated, and my poor husband was going to have to take care of the kids and the children. I mean, the children, the house during the holidays, and then take care of me. Well, I figured, number one, I got to avoid the constipation. So I don't want to eat a lot. I don't want to be stuck, stuck up, like with my belly stuck up. And I couldn't go because I couldn't walk. I didn't want to have and I didn't want to wear a diaper. So I had to make sure that I kind of now's the perfect time to start fasting. But what I didn't do was get pressed about what I saw other people doing on social media. That was just never my thing. But when I came out of my my foot surgeries, and then I ended that once I got my feet back, then I had a car wreck and that tore up my back muscle. So then I was like, okay, here we go again. Now I can't work out. Now I can't do my yoga. But I remembered feeling as if, it never concerned me about what other people were doing with their bodies because I never tried to compare my body with anybody else's. I have a 13-year-old daughter at home, and I am always trying to espouse to her that it doesn't really matter what you look like. It really matters what you got coming out your brain. I know that didn't sound very intelligent, but really I always try to hammer that home to my daughter because I knew she was going to be growing up in the social media era. And I was the crazy mommy who grew up in the church and no, she does not have her own Facebook account. No, she does not have her own Instagram. No, she snuck and got a TikTok, and I didn't even know she was TikToking. And that was 3 years ago, whenever TikTok was first created. And she showed mom and said, hey, mommy, look, I got 52,000 people that's on my TikTok. I said, what is TikTok? I didn't even know what it was. And she's 13 now, so that was like when she was 10. Somebody needs to do the research. I'm like, how does my daughter even know that? But what I came to realize was, I did not want her to be jaded with the images that I was watching on television. Like, I would like to watch The Housewives. And I noticed that I don't just watch the Black Housewives. I watch all the Housewives. I watch everybody except for Miami because they came in and then they stopped and then they got me all caught up in what they were and what their lives were doing. And then the Bravo cut the show out. And then the women, we lost touch with them for like 8 years. I was like, okay, it's too far gone. I don't even know who the people are except for Larsa Pippen. And she's a Bravo show by herself, baby. Let me tell you. And what I came to realize was that the very shows that I'm watching the women's bodies change drastically from the moment that they get on the show. Like the season 1, the way the bodies look of these women is a lot different than the way it looks on when they get to season 3, that's when they get the big checks. So you'll usually see some type of body makeover or whatever. Now I said season 3 because that's based on what I have witnessed on the shows that I watched. And I'm gonna tell you, I watched the Housewives of Beverly Hills, the Housewives of Atlanta, the Housewives of, now you know what? I don't really keep up with Potomac very much. I usually have to wait for Potomac to have the whole season run, and then I just binge watch it all in one day or something like that. I kind of did the Housewives of Atlanta like that as well, because what I noticed is that their breasts keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and they've been growing and growing to the sizes to where it's like when my natural bosom was a size D. And then, of course, I did what God intended them to be made for, and I let my children suck all the life out of them and suck them down to the ground. And at 50 years old with a 5-year-old, now my breasts are on my kneecaps, but I'm okay with that. They've served their purpose, and I can wear a push-up bra any day of the week. Plus, I never thought that it was about the boobs because you can wear a push-up bra. Now, I'm going to get to that later. Now, I don't think that there was anything wrong with women getting breast implants. I never did think that was a problem. I always thought that women sometimes they needed them. Now, I'm just saying that as a woman who is a natural D, I felt like, oh my gosh, if I was that tiny, teeny tiny, I think I'd want bigger boobs. So I always thought that would be okay. Now, I always thought it was good if they looked like they were supposed to be that way, and then by some uncanny reason, one of them just ended up not being the right size, or you just ended up with like really one's a pancake and one's rounder. They just didn't match. And sometimes you've seen those episodes of Botched where the women, it's not like they were actually botched by anybody other than God. It's like God just said, here's what I'm going to do for you. It's okay. God created the cosmetic surgeons. He created their skill set. He gave them the stroke of genius to remake your bodies. If you want to do it, more power to you. What I think is the problem, or that becomes a concern, is in extreme examples of women who are essentially chasing a dream. Now, what I like to do is, like on my social media live stream, if you're live streaming me, you're going to see that if you're live streaming me on, is it Instagram, on Facebook, there I have a filter on. Now, my filter has me with red lipstick and black lashes. Well, I already have lashes. So here's the thing. So I'm a natural girl. I don't have a relaxer in my hair. My hair is just the only thing I did. I do color my hair because God blessed me with gray hair because I'm 50 now. So the same way, I don't think that there's anything wrong with people being bottle blondes. I think that there's like some gripe that people like to say, oh, she's a fake blonde. Who cares if she's a fake blonde or not? I mean, if it looks good, it looks good. So I don't think that I think that where women have a problem is with trying to attain a false level of beauty that is not even real. Let me give you an example. And then I know I have to take a little bit of a break. I was watching a semi-documentary about the gentleman that was, I think his name Lee Weisselberg, whatever his name was. He was a Jewish gentleman who I believe is still living. He may be in his mid-80s right now, but he was the creator of Victoria's Secret, the brand. And Victoria's Secret was the parent company brand of the Limited, Express, Structure, and one other, and Pink. I think Pink is kind of like Victoria's Secret. Well, he created it for men to be able to have something to look at. Victoria's Secret, it was based off of his wife. He was actually married to this beautiful woman, and I'm going to describe her. She's a beautiful blonde-haired lady. I don't know if she's a bottle blonde or not, but she was beautiful and blonde, and I thought she was lovely from the images that they showed of her taken in the 1950s. And in the 1960s when she was a young hot thing. And then when she was married to her husband, he thought that she looked really good in lingerie. And he believed that other women probably looked good in lingerie. And he said, I believe women look good in lingerie. And I believe that my wife looks so good in it. I believe other women would not mind wearing lingerie all the time. I'm telling you a true story. I would just watch the documentary now. Not Lee, I said it wrong. It's Les Wexner. So Les Wexner was a Jewish gentleman, and he was not particularly handsome, I would say, by standards that are imposed on everybody. You know, I guess there's a general standard of beauty. So by his standard, his wife, I think she was beautiful. And for a woman who liked to wear lingerie, he created Victoria's Secret based on Victoria. And in 1981, he launched the company, Victoria's Secret. Like, the Secret lingerie was being sold in mail order catalogs. So the Victoria's Secret brand and Les's idea was to have mail order catalogs and women be tastefully looking like classy women. And Victoria was based on a woman. They said they had to give her a lifestyle image. So she is an English woman who's of the Victorian era, hence Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret is basically her secret lingerie, what she's wearing. I thought it was great. It was a bombshell of retail brainchild conception that I thought was magnificent. And so it's the man's idea of what he thought was sexy and in a classy way. Well, that was 1981 when they had the launch. So Les went on to launch other spinoffs. He was very good at creating a brand for every demographic genre. So for the boys of the particular ages, he had Abercrombie and Fitch. Then he had Structure. For the girls, he had Express and the Limited. And so, for the ladies, I guess for the sexiness, he had, of course, Victoria's Secret and Pink, covering the women so the mother and the daughter can go shopping. Like, I buy my daughter her items from Pink right now, and she's 13. So I think I've been buying her Pink since she was like 11 or 12. Like, they made it, so they really did do a good job. Where they went wrong was with the images of, and I don't want to say, and here's the problem. I don't believe they went wrong with what Victoria's Secret did. I believe that mothers went wrong. Okay? Now, I'm guilty. I'm very guilty because I did not appreciate the fact that all women can't wear all of the clothes that are hanging in the stores. I didn't have a good appreciation for that because my body type fit with the images that I was seeing in the magazines. So I'm 5'11". Like on a very, very heavy day, I'm 156, and on a good day, I'm 148, which is my high school weight. So I fluctuate between those weights, and so nothing that I saw in the magazines was something that I couldn't imagine myself wearing. So it didn't have anything to do with race. It didn't have anything to do with body image. It was just that I so happened to fit the images that were portrayed, so I didn't have a good appreciation for the fact that everybody's not built like the people in the magazines. But what I did have an appreciation for was the fact that everybody's not the same body type. My older sister was a heavier girl and never had a problem with her body type at any weight that she was. And, I remember being 5 years younger than her, and she was like almost a double D bosom in high school with an itty bitty waist like Kim Kardashian's waist, like, when she was wearing the corsets, and it was natural. And her butt was big and round and nice and shapely and not too high up on her back either. Perfectly proportioned with nice thighs, nice legs. Everything was in shape, and she was a brick house, 36, 24, 37 and a half, maybe 38. It was great to see. My sister had a banging body, and she was like 5'9". It was just, she just had a great figure, period. So if I'm watching her grow up, and I'm the little sister watching my sister be the brick house, and just that naturally, and then my mom, all the women in my family, whatever weight they were, it was natural. So nobody had to go under the knife to get anything. God blessed us with big old boobs and big booties. But now I was not built as well as my family members weren't built naturally, because I happen to be growing to 5'11". So which means my butt's not going to be big and juicy and round. It's not going to be like two big old hips, two big old cassava melons. I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have a big old onion. It's not going to look like that. What I'm going to have is a little bit of flat at the top, with a nice little pucker perch under the bottom. Nice little cupping under. That's all I got. And I'm okay with that. Because for every small booty, there is a man that likes it. For every one of those inflatable butts out there, there's a man that likes that too. But what men don't like is when a body looks so unnatural that everybody out there can tell that it's not real. Okay. Now, sometimes, let's just say once upon a time, hair weave was not in style. Now, my daughter asked me, could she get her hair? I said, for what? Your hair's longer than most girls' weaves, naturally. She said, but mommy, everybody's wearing weaves. I said, you know what? Are they really? And then when I took her to an event, I realized she was right. These girls in high school are wearing hair weaves down to their waistlines. There are girls in my daughter's junior high school that have their braids that are literally down to their kneecaps. And I don't know how they manage it. It just baffles me that the standard of beauty has metamorphosed into things that are just like caricatures of what beauty is. So after this break, I'm going to talk to you about some of the botched jobs. And, we understand the seriousness of this matter, that we're not saying that it's bad to get cosmetic surgery. I want you to look your best and live your best life, not just for yourselves, but for me too. I want to see you looking good. I don't want to see you walking around here looking like Hagrid. Let me tell you something, and this is not a good thing to say, and I know that this is about women's empowerment, and I know that this is about health and wellness. Let me tell you something. I was absolutely mortified when I looked at the BravoCon images and saw Carolyn Manzo's picture, and she looked like an 85-year-old woman. She looked like Betsy Ross. The lady who, did she sew the American flag? Or she looked like Susan B. Anthony. She looked like she was 85 years old. Carolyn Manzo, if you don't know who I'm speaking to or referring to, is the former housewife, or not, I guess patriarch celebrity of the Housewives of New Jersey, who used to wear this cute little short blood red pixie cut that was so fire. It was spunky. It was a spunkier version of Lisa Rinna's hair, who has the spunky short pixie look on the Housewives of Beverly Hills. I like Lisa Rinna's hair, but hers is longer. Carolyn Manzo, she let herself go gray. Ladies and gentlemen, stop it. That is not what we're doing. Okay, let me tell you something. You're taking it too far. Who said in the natural world that you are not allowed to dye your hair? I don't want to see you looking old. Your hair needs to match your face. Caroline Manzo, your face looks too young. You look like you took your grandma's hair wig and put it on your head. Stop it, ladies and gentlemen. Just because Bethany Frankel has $100 million and decided to show her gray strands, and just because Sarah Jessica Parker decided to go gray, does not mean you men out there need to become Papa Smurf. I don't want to see your gray beard. You are not Papa Smurf revisited. If you are graying up there and you are a black man who has a frost white beard and you are not at least 62 years old and actually using your AARP card, then you need to cut off that white beard. Somebody made the comment around me at a party. Now, remember, I've been being social a lot lately. I've been going out. I've been in these streets now because, I'm rocking my new look. I had a transformation over the last 2.5 years. I stopped drinking. I drink water pretty much all the time. Now I do make a mean sweet tea now. I'm trying to stop that now. I'm trying to give up sugar is my next thing, but it's going to be long and hard. But I gave up eating. Basically, I only eat between the hours of 3 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. And now I made my fast a lifestyle. And then I stopped wearing makeup altogether. But now that I've got my show is popping. I got to wear makeup when I'm doing the show, which I really don't like to, because I did a transformation so that I could stop doing any beauty regimen that required work. Okay. I decided that when I turned 50, I was going to go back to see what it was my natural beauty was going to be looking like approaching this extra decade. I said, now what that means is I got to take care of my skin. I got to take care of my hair. Now I can color it. I'm not going to put no chemicals in it now. We don't have any chemicals and we're not using any heat on our hair. That's not what we're doing. We're going all the way natural, but we will use a black rinse on there. And if we can find a color darker than black, let me know. If you found something blacker than black, if you found a blacker black, then black onyx black, let me know. Text it to me. Put it in the comments so I can rinse it out in my hair and get it to my stylist. Because that's what we're doing. We're wearing black rinses on our hair and lashes. Don't you let me see you out there with that gray hair. Don't you let me see you out there looking like Papa Smurf. If you're a 50-year-old man and you got a beard full of white, you need to cut that mess off because you're trying to act like you're richer than you are to those young girls that are in the 20s that are looking for a Papa Smurf to take care of them. You're sending the wrong message because guess what? When you take your kids out of the room, ladies and gentlemen out there, ladies, if you're listening, if you're a 50-year-old woman, if you're a 40-year-old woman, and you've been getting rejected by these men out there that are in your particular age bracket, but they want to reject you because they think they're too fly, because they're thinking, oh, I can pick from the 20-year-olds. I can pick from the 30-year-olds. I may get me a 22-year-old. I may get me a young hot thing that's never even had a baby and messed up her body and like that. I may get me somebody that's young enough that doesn't even have any stretch marks. Maybe somebody that hasn't even had any plastic surgery work done. Maybe somebody that didn't need a mommy makeover. Well, let me tell you something. Guess what your revenge is, okay? If you have some brother out there that is walking around there with his Papa Smurf beard, thinking that he's new and hot and popping, just because he's got these young girls thinking that his coins are dropping and dropping. Well, we all know that his credit is bad. We all know that sometimes he's got erectile dysfunction and he simply just can't get it up. We all know that under there he has to work out more often than not. We all know that he's just laying it on thick with the appearance of wealth when we know that he's broke. We know that Papa Smurf is just a facade for the young women. Ladies out there, don't let people think you need to go gray. You don't. Because guess what? You can dye your hair black. Carolyn Manzo, go back to red. Bethany Frankel, get that chocolate brown with the highlights like you used to have. Don't you dare let a gray hair pop out on your head. And go, ladies out there, and get yourself a Brazilian wax. No one will know how old you are so long as your vagina is bare. So if you have your women out there that need revenge, if you are looking at social media and comparing your body to what you see out there, please know that it's not real. The Victoria's Secret documentary about what's his name again, Sherelle? Les what? Wexner. About Les Wexner. One thing that you will notice, if you watch the documentary, I forgot the name of it, I'll get it for you in a minute, was that when the Victoria's Secret models were doing the print catalog images, in the beginning...
Victoria's Secret's Angels and Demons.
Angels and Demons. Okay. So the Angels and Demons, those images of bodies are like not real. Like the women who were the supermodels back in that time those were the images that were being put forth as the standard of beauty, when that was the biggest falsehood, because the average size woman in the United States of America is a size 14. Size 14 is the average size. So if you've got Victoria's Secret models walking up and down the catwalk and they're like 5'11" and like they've gone on a fast, that's like major fast that's allowed them to drop and cut weight to where now they're like a size 0, or I guess a size 2, 4. And they're like bone rail thin. Well, that's what they needed to walk around in their panties looking like to sell underwear. But that wasn't real, because even in the catalogs, you could see that they airbrushed the catalogs. They would even take the actual photographs of the women that were already bone thin, and they would show how they would flatten their stomachs even more than they already were. And those women were already emaciated looking. They were literally bone thin. So if you've got the catalog editors that were carving out their stomachs to make them look flatter, even taking their butts to make them look rounder. Because when you think about it, these women, the ideal beauty standard in the Victoria's Secret catalog was a bone-thin woman with curves, which is almost unheard of, because it's hard to be. Now, I know, because I've been bone thin with curves, but your stomach is still your stomach. It's still going to be there. You got to eat. You're not going to be able to just, what you going to do? Take out your intestines and take out your stomach? But that's what they're making the pictures and images look like. Well, that's what people are now. That's what the Kardashians and all of the women. And when you saw a lot of commentary from a former housewife of New York, Bethany Frankel, from her over the course of the last few weeks, discussing the false images that the Kardashians, she believes, are portraying to the public at large, which she believes are damaging young girls and what their image of beauty is. Now, Bethany Frankel, I get where she's coming from. She's coming from the same space where I believe, like, Bethany Frankel has a daughter. I don't know. Can you look and see how old Bethany Frankel's young daughter is? She had one child, a little girl, when she was married to Jason Poppy, the gentleman that she met while she was on the show, and they since divorced. But she has a daughter, and I'm not sure what her age is.
12 years old.
Bryn is 12 years old. So Bryn is 12 years old, and my daughter's 13. What I have come to realize, how old is Bethany Frankel? Like 52?
Bethany Frankel.
Well, I believe that she's 51. Okay, so she's kind of like me. So I'm 50 years old. I've got a 13-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. I'm very aware and very concerned with how my daughter views body image and what her image of beauty is. And so while she's very aware that it doesn't matter what she looks like. I think I've hammered that home so much that last weekend I found myself thinking, maybe she needs to be, even now that we've hammered the message home that she does not need to be concerning herself with what other people think about how she looks. I wanted to instill and hammer home and basically brainwash her into the reverse of what I know the future holds with her, with some man who's going to tell her that she's not cute. Some guy's going to tell her that she's too fat. Some guy's going to tell her that she's too thin. Some guy's going to tell her that her boobs are too small, or that her butt's too small, or that her waist is too big, or that her something's too something, or that her hair. Somebody is going to break her down physically. It's either going to come from a boy. I don't know if it'll come from a boy first, or if it's going to come from the mean girls first. But what I know for sure is this: it will come. And so my job, what I believed, has been over the course since I stopped wearing her hair in 2 ponytail splits down the middle. I used to make sure she kept the parted ponytail, the piggy pops at the top, because her hair was curly. I was like, you're going to wear that center part down the top with 2 pig pops ponytails every day with 2 bows in it. So you look like a little girl for as long as possible. She wore a hair bow. Anybody that knew my back in those days when I was old mommy. Old mommy believed in old school. You're going to wear dresses with poof. You're going to be wearing little girl shoes. You're going to be wearing tights under your dresses. You're going to have your hair in piggy pops with bows. All of that girly girl stuff. I'm going to dress you up like a baby doll. I'm not going to allow you to wear makeup. Like, you're not going to do those things that I believe have anything to do with sexuality until you're at the age where you need to learn about sexuality. I didn't want my daughter growing up too quickly. So, which means I didn't need her to see the images on social media because I knew that those images were fake and she was going to be too young to discern as to what was real and what was fake. So I did what I thought was necessary. So I was like, okay, you're the most beautiful girl in the world. You don't need makeup. You just need to wash your face. You just need to use Clinique. You just need to use whatever mommy's using. But whatever I'm using, I say, see, mommy's telling you don't need makeup. So what does that mean in my household? That means I got to stop wearing makeup. So I got to practice what I preach. Mommy's out there. So I was like, okay. So then she said, oh, mommy, your skin is so beautiful. Yes, because mommy stopped wearing makeup. Mommy washed her face. So then she's like, okay, I'm copying my mom. So then when she saw that I was fasting, I was like, I'm not dieting. I'm fasting. I'm shutting my mouth. I'm not doing the dairy. I'm not doing the bacon. I'm keeping the pork off my fork as much as possible, but I'm still going to make some collard greens with that fat back in it because I like cooking like that. And I made a beef stew with the meat that was so juicy and tender. It just fell apart when you put it in your mouth. It's like butter. So at the end of the day, I can cook like that, but I also at the same time make salmon and rice and vegetables for myself. I give my family the option on what to eat so they have the healthy choices, but I don't shove it down their throats. But what I do notice is that my daughter has picked up my eating habits. So now that she's very aware, she's like, I don't necessarily want the bacon anymore. I didn't really have to hammer that home to her. I just practice what I preach. So now she took a leap of faith, and here goes the haters. Before, when she was wearing her hair in braids, she didn't have a lot of haters because the hater mean girls didn't know how long her natural hair was. They didn't know they didn't realize. They knew that she had nice hair, but they didn't know what kind of texture it was, what kind of length it was, what kind of whatever it was. They didn't know what she was working with. So she used to always get mad at me when on the first day of school in the 6th grade, I made her wear her hair down and a pressing curl. All black women out there, you know what I'm talking about. Since we don't do relaxers, we go take that heat to it. We're going to use Madam C.J. Walker's pressing comb and press out all of that like fire all the way. Going to go to a silk press for the first day of school. That's just what black girls do. So I'm sure that girls with curly hairs, you want to wear your hair straight, bone straight, and just press all the curl out of all the natural curl out of for the first day of school. Because you know the first day of school is usually going to coincide with picture day. You don't want to get your braids rocking and do all that jazz until after that. That's when you got to worry about athletics and working out and stuff. I get it. I like to rock the braids in the summertime when I don't feel like when I don't want to do a press, when I just want to be curly in my natural state. Well, my daughter did not, after the first day of school, she comes home. I thought, I know she was looking great because I know she walked out of the house looking like a little bitty, cute little Barbie doll, baby Barbie. I was like, okay. When she came back home, she had taken her beautiful hair and found some random rubber band that was looks like from the teacher's rubber band box. You know, the tan kind for newspapers, and pulled all of her hair to the back and and didn't even really know how to put a rubber band on. But my baby doll, she put that hair all in a rubber band and tucked it under and then tucked it inside of her shirt. So when I said, Kennedy, what did you do to your hair? She said, I don't want to wear my hair down anymore. So obviously the haters were hazing her and giving her the dirty looks about her hair. Like she thought she was cute, but then the haters would let you know, well, we don't like you wearing your hair down. From that moment on, she never wanted to wear her hair down anymore. She only wanted to wear her hair in braids. I was like, okay, this is not going to work. Okay, but I let her go. But every first day of school, I made her hair. I made her wear her hair down. Well, this 8th grade year, here's what happened. This 8th grade year, now she's coming into this year, she was already 13. So now this 8th grade year, when they start popping, all of a sudden she watches Mean Girls. It's my doing because I said, you're 13 years old and now you can watch PG-13 movies. I'm that kind of mommy that did not let you watch PG-13 until you were 13, with the exception of my mother and my mother-in-law, who, God rest her soul, who passed away. My mother and my mother-in-law both used to let my daughter watch horror movies that she had no business watching when she was 7 years old. Like, like watching Thriller videos of Michael Jackson, knowing full well she shouldn't have been watching that when she was in elementary school. But anyway, they didn't enforce my rules. But I enforced the rules when it came to sexuality. So I decided you're not going to watch PG-13 movies until you're 13 under my household. You don't have Instagram. Anything that you learned, you saw on YouTube, and I've already restricted the account and I removed YouTube. So you're really having to just sneak and find it some kind of way. My daughter has to go like she's breaking into Fort Knox if she wants to see anything related to sexuality. But I know she's going to see it some kind of way. But I like to tell her first what beauty is. I like to tell her first what's real and what's fake. So I took all of the photographs from the Kardashians, the before and after, for all of the people in the family. I said, Kennedy, this is the picture of all of the Kardashians. This is the one that this is Kylie before, and this is Kylie now. This is Kim before, and this is Kim now. This is Kendall before. Kendall had a nose job, very early on. This is her before. Now she's a supermodel. And then Kennedy told me, well, she's really not that attractive, Mommy. I don't know why she's a supermodel. I said, there you have it, dear. I said, she's a supermodel. I said, because her mommy is a mogul. Her mommy forced that on us. Some people, she said, well, I like Naomi Campbell. I like Shalom Harlow. And then she starts naming all of these tried and true supermodels who are just God-given, naturally built anomalies. Tyra Banks is an anomaly. Full set of tatas that's real and natural that she never had to do anything with. Naomi Campbell is God's favorite anomaly. Iman is God's favorite anomaly. Christy Turlington, Cindy Crawford, those are the anomalies that God just created to be the supermodels. Nowadays, the standard of beauty is more like, well, you have to have this BBL, this Brazilian butt lift, which is killing more women than the other surgeries. I had no idea that the Brazilian butt lift was single-handedly responsible for a lot of these botched surgeries where these women are having to get amputations. They're having necrosis of their skin, like their skin is dying on their bodies. And I don't know, can you replace your skin? I don't know if plastic surgeons can actually replace your skin. I don't know if it's like some procedure that they do like they do for burn victims or whatever, but it really made me nervous to see that all of these women are getting the Brazilian butt lift. And come to find out, we have had how many years of Kim Kardashian inflating her butt and her hips on top of her stick legs. And then now in the last photographs we've seen that the queen of the gram, the queen of the selfie, has decided to reverse course and go back to her smaller, more natural looking behind and more natural looking hips. And I have to say thank you. Kim has realized when she went to that baseball game and got booed, when she was posting Instagram pictures of her daughter and was getting called out by Kanye, her ex-husband, are they still married? Are they divorced? Whatever they are. Her soon-to-be ex-husband or ex-spouse called out saying, my daughter's not going to be on Instagram. My daughter's not going to be having a sex tape. My daughter will not be, blah, 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 and doing it for the gram. When he said all the things that he does not want his daughters to do. He was basically saying, I don't want my daughters to be like my wife. I don't want my daughters to be raised like that. And the body image that Kim portrayed to all of our daughters was that you needed to look like a caricature of what a woman's body actually is. A woman's body in its natural state doesn't need any augmentation. It does just fine on its own. Your breasts, if you want to augment them, if they're teeny tiny powder puffs, you may need to, but don't make them so large to where they become a burden, because guess what? Heavy boobs hurt. Heavy boobs are uncomfortable. The real boob girls out there, I don't like heavy ones. I was glad that my boobs were sucked out. I was very happy with that. God made it a process. If he gave you some D's, if you have some children and let them suck your boobs out and get all the nursing that you're going to get, God will bless you with a smaller cup size and you'll be a natural woman size. I was so happy about my new breast size that I wore a naked dress that you could see all the way through that just had a whole bunch of diamonds on it, baby, for my 50th birthday party. And I walked all the way through and I just had on a G-string because I was happy with my little bitty flat butt with its nice little pucker because it's all natural. Whatever it is to anybody doesn't matter. I'm okay with it. There's no push-up bra holding it up. Now I did have on some pasty nipple covers and they were not made to look like my actual, because you can't, first of all, you can't show all your stuff. But anyway, but just to be like, look, I don't have to have a changed body to be proud of the body that I have. I don't have to go decide that between the age of 49 and 50, I'm going to do a whole bunch of push-ups and sit-ups. I haven't decided to start that just yet. I'm not going to do a body change. I'm not going to start my workout regimen. Now, I did do some stretches over the last 2 days, but that's about it. I'm getting my body ready for the winter. I just don't want my muscles to crack and pop. I don't want it to be that difficult to work out in the spring. I go through my cycles in my weight, but I'm not going to let myself get too far out of whack because I don't want to buy new clothes. But I need to make sure that the body images that now we're showing our children, like Bethany Frankel, the gray hair, leave that behind. The lip injections, ladies, let me tell you something. Stop it with the lip injections. You're losing your actual lip line. And can you stop putting the lipstick on the exterior part of your lip? You're adding, okay. Now here's a beef that I have. And I got to say this, I'm calling out my makeup artist and I love you, makeup artist. I love you. But just one time, my makeup artist, and my makeup artist is a male. He always knew I like my lips. I have no problem with the thinness of my lips. None. They're perfectly shaped for what they're supposed to do, which is talk and eat. Not a whole lot else. That's it. I don't want you drawing my lipstick beyond my natural line. It looks dumb. We know that that's not your natural lip. And if you've gotten too many lip injections and now you puffed up your lips so much to where we can see the undertucking of your lip, that's not a good look. And that's something that I don't think that you can reverse. If you've gotten an implant in your lip like Lisa Rinna, I think that you should get your implant removed. I think it is affecting the way you speak. And I'm looking at Lisa Rinna and her lips are always looking like they're going too far. It looks like whoever said that full lips are beautiful. Have you seen Shiloh Jolie Pitt's lips that are natural like her mama's? She don't have to do a single thing. Her lips are beautiful, but they look like black women's lips, and I think that's great. If God bless you with naturally full lips, good for you. Now, he didn't bless me with that, but that's okay. I'm okay with that because he blessed me with other things. But I'm not going to start drawing my lip line outside my lips, faking it. No, because we can see it. The only thing I'm going to fake is my hair color. It's all the way fake black. And as soon as I find something blacker, I'm going to put that in too. Now, what you need to do is listen, stay off the Instagram. If you looked last week at the gram, before you get off the Instagram though, you have to go look at Plies. Plies did an Instagram post. Now, of course, I'm real good for scrolling reels and not actually looking at the reel. I listened to the first part of what Plies was saying about women's lashes. Now, my lashes are fake. I don't wear the glue on. What do you call it? I don't wear the strips. I wear the lash extensions simply because I like to wake up like looking like this. It's just 100% vanity. I have natural lashes that curl, but they're not as dense as these lash extensions. I prefer that. Now Plies did an Instagram post saying that all women must wear lashes, and I don't have a problem with that. All women, I believe it 100%. Typically, if you're in a picture with me and you're not wearing lashes, I'm going to put some lashes on you. Yes, I am, in the photograph before I post it. I just feel like that's the one thing I'm going to take full ownership. You may think you're looking good without lashes on, but your eyes are looking a little bit teeny tiny small. And if I don't feel like my lashes are done, or if I'm missing a few of them and I haven't gone to the lash refill place, I'm going to add some lashes on my Instagram. I'm going to add those lashes, and I'm okay with that. And what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to add any booty. I'm not going to add any boobs. I'm not going to make my waist have to do anything because my waist is already doing it already. But if you're out there and you're a woman that's feeling like you need to get a BBL, don't do it. When I come back, we're going to talk about whether or not you still got your sexy on. Does your man still want to hit it since you got your mommy makeover? Also, we're going to discuss, have you gotten a tummy tuck and ate through it or eaten through it? Have you gotten a second tummy tuck and eaten through that one as well? You know who you are. I've seen you. I've seen your social media pictures. You cannot get tummy tucks and then eat through them. It's a lifestyle change. Okay? We're going to talk about lifestyle changes when we come back and setting an example for your daughters. I'm trying to set a Botox example. Like, I need to get some. I'll be back. For those of you women out there, I've been in this situation. Don't be embarrassed. It could happen to you.